to the other part of our little episode where we have Little Triangle Theatre Company coming onto the Theatre Thoughts podcast to talk to us about 35mm, a musical exhibition. So we have two amazing actors joining us today. We have, first of all, a graduate from the Queensland Conservatorium of the Griffith University, who left with a Bachelor of Music Theatre in 2021. Their past credits include the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is such a mouthful, from Brent Street, Brigadoon in Neglected Musicals with Hayes Theatre, and The Gruffalo with CDP. It is Nina Carcione.
Hello,
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And then we also have a graduate from the Integrated Musical Theatre Program at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City, a featured performer in the Columbus Day Parade on the Fifth Avenue, which was also broadcast internationally on ABC Live. Her other credits include In the Heights as Nina, West Side Story, and Urinetown for Hayes Theatre Company. It's Leiva.
Thank you so much for having both of us. We're so excited to talk to you today.
I'm excited to talk to you. First of all, In the Heights, was that with Hayes?
No, it wasn't. I've done two productions.
Yeah.
One was when I was young. I did it out in Penrith. And then
Okay.
the other one I did
Yep.
in Pennsylvania when I was living in the States.
Way.
Yeah.
I love In the Heights.
It's such a good musical.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, I guess you're on to talk about 35mm with Little Triangle, but I want to get to that a little bit later. I'd love to know you first. So I'd love to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I guess for those who don't know you, what's the top things to know about both of you? You know, what are the top things to know about, Nina and Kira? It's a bit hard when you talk about yourself, isn't it?
Yes. Where to start?
I love me some op shopping, some
Do
mid-century
you?
furniture.
Nice.
Yeah, loving the outdoors at the moment.
Yes.
Beautiful Sydney weather.
Yeah.
What about you, Kira?
Yeah. Look, love theatre, obviously. Very excited to be working on 35mm as well. Like, this is my first time working with Nina, and she's an absolute gem.
Yeah.
You are too.
Yeah. I feel like, lot of theatre, eating food.
Yeah. And you've done a lot of work in New York. How did that come about?
I lived in New Jersey when I was young.
Oh, no
and
way,
so
right.
I was going to New York quite often, and I always had the dream of going back. So, after high school, I really wanted to go to AMDA and made that trip over there. And after that, I ended up studying, after finishing musical theatre, I did full-time acting there as well because I did not want to leave.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then COVID brought me back. But
Oh, right. You were there for that long.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a trip.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
It definitely was a great learning experience as well
Yeah.
because New York is aggressive. It's really harsh, but it's such an exciting and there's this beautiful drive and energy from the people and it's contagious. And and the amount of theatre is incredible.
I love New York so much.
Yeah.
I've only been there a couple of times. I did once for a holiday and then I did a summer camp over in
cool.
upstate New York.
Yeah, nice.
So every second weekend we're going into the city and staying there. And I just love everything about it. I love all the shit things about it and I love all the great things about it as well. It's just such a city.
Yeah.
Such an energy to it.
Yep, 100%.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And Nina as well, with you. So you're Queensland?
I'm from Perth
You're from
originally.
Perth.
Freo girl.
Okay,
If
there you
anyone's out
go.
there from Fremantle, shout out. And then I moved to Sydney for Brent Street when I was 17, away from family, and then spent 3 years in Brisbane for the Queensland Con and
so
moved
cool.
back to Sydney last year.
So you've seen all the
I've
country.
seen it all.
You've seen it all.
Yeah, still yet to tackle Melbourne and the
Yeah.
other things, but
Don't
I
worry,
love
I've only
Sydney.
been. Melbourne was I've only been to it for the first time. I think it was last year.
Yeah, at the moment I'm just loving the theatre in Sydney specifically. I
Yeah.
feel like there's always so much to see, especially when you come from Perth and there's nothing.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's just really inspiring to go out to shows when you can afford it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see the diverse theatre that we have here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to ask you our theatre thoughts questions if you'd like to take part in them,
We're
obviously.
ready.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're just different questions about theatre that we'll ask. We'll do a one-for-one sort of thing. So ask a question, then one of you can answer, the other one can answer, and then we'll just kind of keep going.
Okay.
So who'd like to volunteer?
I'll go first.
Okay, lovely.
Thanks, Kira.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll start with the first one. What has been your favourite production you've seen recently?
I saw Lady Day
Okay.
last week.
At
the week
Belvoir.
before, at Belvoir.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. Zara Newman is incredible. Also, the story was so heartbreaking and it really was so immersive. You really feel like you're in that time and in that space. It was, great.
Great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nina?
Constellations at STC, which
Okay.
Kira also saw.
Yeah.
That left me like the next week after just like thinking about what if, and that's the main kind of
Right.
thing that it leaves you with, questioning like the timing of everything, which is ironic because we were
That's
talking
the
about that
story we were talking
before,
about before, yeah.
pre-podcast, and yeah, it really sat with me for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed that one, but I would just remember seeing everyone talking about it, just saying the most amazing reviews for it.
No set
Yeah.
apart from this beautiful, like, how would you describe it? Planetarium kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Really
was,
looking
like,
up at
otherworldly.
stars.
Yeah.
Like watching just a globe with no set around it.
Yeah,
It was
right.
beautiful. It was so simple and
Yeah.
just such a testament to the simplistic staging of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Stunning. How cool.
Yeah.
Is there a role that you haven't played yet that you'd still like to? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so many. Amelie has always been a dream, like
Oh, yeah.
theatre role
Yeah.
for me. But to widen that, I just want to be a part of new Aussie work and
Yeah,
be able to
nice.
give voices to what our country has to say and
Would
not
you
put yourself in a box.
Like to originate a role?
100%.
Yeah?
That's the main dream role.
Yeah.
And in recent years, like letting go of that kind of fantasy of the dream role, because it's like so many things out of your control.
Yeah.
And what is in your control is like, yeah, what theatre do I want to be a part of
Yeah.
and create? So that's what's exciting me at the
That is
moment.
a
What about
great
you,
answer.
Kira?
I mean, I would love to. This is a play. It's Lungs by Duncan Macmillan. I would love to play the woman and tackle that. I feel like it'd be so challenging. And also similar to Constellations, it really plays with form.
Yeah.
And it's, kind of straight through, and there's no real like setting, location, and set time period. It just fluctuates, and it's beautiful. So that, or like I'd love to play Dawn in Waitress.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, but
Comedy
there's
shops.
a long list. There's a long list.
That
Of
was meant
course.
to come a couple of years ago, I think,
Yeah,
Waitress. But I think
yeah.
COVID probably stopped it, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if it comes,
Hopefully.
a couple of
Crossings
years.
Great
Fingers.
show.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, or name a play or production that's left you speechless?
Oh, Seawall of Life I saw in
Where was that?
2019 on Broadway.
Okay.
With Jake Gyllenhaal and Tom Sturridge. And
Wow.
it's two monologues that they've just paired together. I'm not connected in any way, different playwrights, and it's just unbelievable. The staging was so simple. It was just the one actor and the audience, and it really made me realize, like, this is why I do this.
Oh, I love that.
And it was quite the moment, quite the experience for me.
That's so good.
Yeah. What about you, Nina?
Very cool. Mine was also a play at Belvoir in 2019, Things I Know to Be True.
Okay.
And
yeah.
similarly to Constellations, I just remember sitting there, and I was in my first year of uni, so very like wide-eyed and wow.
Yeah.
But just like so relatable, seeing an Australian story on stage, something that's obviously it's been around for a long time, that play, but I had never seen it before, and very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
I love those answers.
Yeah.
I've already asked that one. Let's have a look. What else is the next one? Oh, do you have a pre-show ritual that you like to do?
I find doing makeup, which obviously you have to do for the job,
Yeah.
but that to me is just so, what's the word? Like heavenly. Like you're just getting into the role, masking up and getting into the character.
Yeah.
I love doing that, but you have to do it for the job, so
Yeah.
it's kind
Yeah.
of ideal.
I
but
always
nothing
remember,
crazy.
like, doing makeup at a show. It's like I become a different person because I have to colour in my eyebrows, and normally you can't see them. So I walk out, and everyone's
Invisible
just like,
eyebrows.
"Who are you? What's going on? I can see your face." It's like, whoa. So the whole makeup thing is like, it's a part of it for sure to get into it.
Recently, I also love a power pose.
Oh, do you?
Oh.
Yeah, and like in the 5-minute call, just like standing in either like a power pose, something that makes
Nice.
you feel
Nice.
really strong, and
Yeah.
it kind of tricks your brain into, it's a bit of science behind it as well.
Yeah. How cool.
So that's fun. Yeah. What about you?
I'm crazy and slightly obsessed about rib expansion.
Rib
And so this is
expansion.
kind of like what I do, even like pre-audition, like when
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I just like dig my fingers into my ribs, like the front and the back and like underneath. I learned it at school and now I
Really?
can't stop. Yeah.
So
I
what's it meant to do?
just to let all those muscles go, the intercostals,
Yeah.
so that they really you know, swing out and then you can have a full breath. And I just feel like if I don't do that,
Yeah.
it's not the same.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How cool.
So cool.
Yeah, but now
I'll
I'm just
try
stuck
it
on
for
it.
35
Highly
millimeter.
recommend.
Yeah. Do it.
We'll be digging into our rooms backstage.
We go to a Bruce. Like, where's your Bruce for? Which production would you most want to see come to Australia?
Something rotten.
Oh my
Oh,
It's so
God.
underrated. It's
Nobody
amazing.
said that in all the times I've asked that
Really?
question, and that is one of my favorite shows. I've never seen
Yeah.
it, but I'm such a Shakespeare nerd.
Yeah.
I've listened to It's a Musical
Yeah.
countless times. Shakespeare's my dream role to play in that musical.
Yeah.
And I sing his songs like whenever I'm in the car, just because I go, yeah, no, I can still do it. Yeah, I could do that.
Got it in you.
And it's
Yeah.
like my dream role. So thank you so much for
No,
saying
it's
that.
so funny.
Yeah.
And the tap numbers, highly recommend everyone. Yep, Something
Yeah.
Rotten. Or The Band's Visit. Very different.
Oh, yeah, very
on the
different.
Opposite.
Yeah.
But I saw that.
I feel like that would lend itself to a small intimate theatre as well,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Darla or Hayes.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah,
Beautiful.
Hayes, definitely.
Yeah. Stunning music.
Yeah. So good.
I want to see someone do Hadestown. I know that's a very popular answer
No, it's
lately,
great.
but really want to see that
Yeah.
come. And just more funding for Aussie work on a
Yes.
commercial scale where they can have more of a life than just one season at, you know, a more intimate theatre. Like
definitely.
bring that work to the country, to places like Perth and
Yeah.
elsewhere that
Yeah.
don't get those big shows.
I think it's
Yeah.
good because, like, there is some success stories that show what happens if you put funding behind it. And Fangirls is obviously the most obvious
Yeah.
success story. Like, I mean,
100%.
they're going to London next year with it, which is just, like, insane.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, and Belvoir obviously got behind that. And so that's just pure proof. If you
Yeah.
push something and there's a funding there for it, look what can happen.
Definitely.
You know?
And the
So
rest
it's
of the
great.
world will relate to these very universal stories,
Yeah.
but also we can have a voice
Yes.
outside of our
Yes.
industry.
Well, they're literally using the Australian accents on London, and I remember
So
commenting
great.
when Eve posted, I'm like, "Thank God you're still keeping the accents because that's gonna be so good."
yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll love it.
excellent,
Yeah.
great answers. They were
Yeah.
all awesome. Thank you so much for that. Well, we'll take a quick little ad break, and then we'll talk about 35mm.
Great.
Thank you.